Hey everybody, it's Mindy. Welcome to my Whip and Chat. This is my week 2 of my Chuck Pinson event. Week 2 Whip and Chat, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let's get started. I don't even have a color out or anything. I'm not ready here at all. I set the camera up and I'm like, okay, we gotta go. Let's go. Let's pick us out a color here. Let's find a color. What can we use a lot of? I think we can use you. You. There's a lot of the you. Okay. So, I'm cruising along here. Really, I'm making some good progress, I think. At first I was like, man, it's going so slow and I don't feel like I'm getting very far. But really, I mean, I've done pretty good. I've got a nice section along the bottom and I'm trying to just work up this way. Anyhow, I'm getting there. I started at the bottom on this. It's Inspiration of Spring Meadows. And I have noticed that when you start at the bottom, there is much more confetti at the bottom. If you worked on the top, you got a lot of multi-placing in the sky and stuff like that for the top. So I don't feel too bad that, I am where I am right now on this. Yeah, really. So you guys, some of the progress that we've seen, that is not that color. That was a stray. You get strays that just like land on your canvas, different places, and I don't know. Don't know where they came from. They're not the right color, anyhow. But yeah, some of you have made just phenomenal progress on your paintings. And I'm just like, whoa. Do you guys eat? Do you bathe? Do you sleep? Just don't know. I think we've had, maybe 3 finishes at this point. I think I've seen 3. I know that one person, Kokisha, she started another one. So she's on her second one already. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, anyhow, you guys, it's amazing. It's fun. These paintings are beautiful. Every single one I see, I'm just like, oh, that's so pretty. Oh, look at that one. That's so pretty. Every single time I do that, I'm like, oh, look. But yeah, I've been keeping up with the posts on Facebook. I go and I look at everyone. I don't comment, but I give everybody a little heart, which means, hey, I liked it. I saw it. That kind of thing. Maritza, it took her a while that first week to get everybody entered and get, all the entries in and stuff like that. There was a lot going on because that was not only starts, but it was progress for the first week too. So there was a lot going on. But she did really good, man. She kept up with it and she plugged away and she got them all in. And I think there are like 550 people participating. That's amazing. That is amazing. You guys loving it. So yeah, you guys rock. Rock. Don't forget, please, when you're posting your progress picture, look for the post for week 2 now. Gotta look for week 2. It is tagged at the top of the group. It will always be at the top. If you can't find it at the top, go to the announcements and look for week 2. There's a post for week 2. And all you do is post your picture in the comments. Okay, I've had a couple people that were a little confused how to post it. You just post it as a comment. So find that post, go to the comments, and put your picture there. Okay? So hopefully that will get easier as we roll along with this. Just think of what you're learning, people. What are you learning? You're learning how to post things on Facebook. We're not asking you to do Instagrams. We're not teaching you Instagram this time. So just Facebook. Anyhow, it's awesome. It's amazing. Yeah. I got to see Maritza's picture. She's, blinged out her rainbow. That's pretty cool. And I'm a sprinkler at this point. I haven't really replaced a full color anywhere. Well, that's not true. I have. I replaced one color, but there's so little of them. It's like this burgundy color, and that so few of them. But other than that, I like to just sprinkle a little bling around, and I'm happy with that. I put some green sparklers in the grass because I think grass should have a little shimmer and shine. I mean, if you go outside in the summertime and you look at the grass, the sun's hitting it and it's got some reflective properties, right? It picks up some light and it has a little shimmer. So I put a few green sparklers in my grass. And I've done a few, like I said, purple ABs and the flowers. I like my flowers and my grass to sparkle. Yes. Yes. Anyhow, we each do what we want to do. Some people haven't enhanced a thing. They're just doing the kit straight and they turn out beautiful that way as well. But, you know, just have fun with it. It's your art. And, you know, Chuck himself in the last interview mentioned how cool it is to see what people do, how they take his work and make it their own by changing or adding, and you know, and he's just amazed by what we do. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful. All right, what do I have to say? Make sure you watch the whole Whip and Chat. Just gonna say that right here. Just watch the whole thing, okay? Yeah. Anyhow, do I have any more details? Any more info? Chuck Pinson interview, March 27th. Yes, that is verified. Verified. He will be here, and he's working. He's doing a little work for our live this time. He's got a little. He's got a few things he's got to take care of before the 27th. I'm not saying anymore. Just, yeah, he's good. He's getting prepared. Anyhow, it's fantastic. You guys, we're just overjoyed, overwhelmed. Just, wow. Thank you so much for your participation and the fact that you love this event. You know, it just, I've already got people commenting, can't wait for Chuck Along 4. Okay. Hop in on Chuck Along 3 still. Somebody was like, I wasn't ready. I'm like, well, you could still join. You got the rest of this week because we gave you, you know, through week 2 to start if you still wanted to. But if you don't want to, okay, we'll be back. We'll be back. Anyhow, that's what I have to say about that. Okay. All right. So for the rest of this Whip and Chat, we're going to talk nature because, I mean, why wouldn't I, right? These paintings are all about nature. Why wouldn't we talk about nature? Last week I talked about when I was a child and some memorable vacations we took as a child. Not that I remember them super well because I was quite young, but I'm going to talk about something different. It's still nature. So let me talk about when I got married. You know, Dale and I, we got married on April 1st. Now, we got married within 6 months. Oh, look, there's a C right there. Look at that darn thing. It's hanging out right there. You know what? C's are right here. I'm going to snag it real quick. Get me a C. Because, you know, I don't feel like coming back later. There it is. Perfect. So we got married on April 1st. That was 6 months after we, like, you know, reconnected, I guess. We felt no need to wait. Why wait? You know, people asked, well, what's the rush? Well, I don't know. There's no rush. It's just, we just want to be together. So let's just get this done. Right? And let's move on with our lives. We know we're going to be together. We know we want to get married. There's no question. It's not like we need a, you know, certain time period to, you know, make sure. No, we knew. So why wait? So we got married. We got married at a bed and breakfast. And we stayed at that bed and breakfast that evening after we got married. And the next day, oh my gosh, the next day we did weird things. Like we took his daughter to get her car washed and did, I mean, just dumb stuff, just like normal life, you know? My point is we did not have like a honeymoon. We just didn't, you know, got married, had the weekend, and that was about it. So in the summer, I mean, it's only April, right? So as summer's approaching, we thought that we would take a little trip somewhere, as like a little honeymoon trip. And so we started talking about places and whatnot. And Dale asked me, he said, well, we could just do some stuff in our state. There's cool things like up in the UP. He said, have you been up to the UP? And I was like, oh my goodness. When I was young, when I was a kid, I know that we took some trips up to the UP. UP means Upper Peninsula of Michigan. We have two peninsulas. We have the Lower Peninsula, we have the Upper Peninsula, and we just call that the UP. It's very, I won't say desolate, but it's really, there's not a lot up there. There's not a lot of people. There's just lots and lots of land. So, yeah, he said, well, we could go up north. We could go up to the UP. And I was like, well, what in the world would we do up there? What is there to do? And he's like, really? Seriously? He said, okay, that does it. That's what we're doing. We're going up to the UP for our honeymoon this summer. I was like, okay, well, let's figure out what we can do then, because I'm just thinking desolate, no man's land, nothing to do. What are we going to do? Because we're going to go for a week. So we started researching things. He said, well, let's look it up. What to do in the UP? Well, the first thing that we found to do in the UP was waterfalls. Waterfalls, yeah. And then there's some large falls that a lot of people have heard of called Tequamanon. And they are larger falls, more populated, more people visit them, that kind of stuff. So we're like, okay, well, we can start there. There's another area that's up close to that called Pictured Rocks. And oh my gosh, Pictured Rocks is gorgeous. You guys, if I can find a few pictures to put in at the end, stay tuned. I'll try to put some pictures. Pictured Rocks is gorgeous. They're like cliffs and they're just beautiful. They're colored. That's why they're called pictured, because of like chemicals and such that just have stained the rock and stuff, and all the pretty colors from the different chemicals. They're gorgeous, just gorgeous. Now you can go to Pictured Rocks on foot, and you can hike like the tops, and that's where you'll see the waterfalls that are going down. Or you can take a boat and you can see them from the water, which is cool to do as well. So there was that option. And so we just thought, well, okay, let's head up to that area and see what we can do, see what we can find. So that's what we did. Sorry. Maybe that's better. So, interesting thing is, when my parents got married, they honeymooned up in a little town called Paradise. Paradise is where you find the Tequamanon Falls. Yeah. So that's where my parents went on their honeymoon years and years and years before us. And here we go, taking off on our honeymoon to the same place that my parents honeymooned, right? Now, my dad had an aunt that lived up there at the time when they got married. So they actually were able to go up there and see her and stuff like that. But, she was long past. But here we go, off to Paradise, Michigan, to go see all these beautiful things. And let me tell you what, you guys, wow. Tequamanon Falls is beautiful. It's just gorgeous. No words can explain what it's like to be there. There's an upper falls and there's a lower falls. The upper falls are the larger ones and they're gorgeous, just gorgeous. I mean, if you think Niagara Falls and you get like that horseshoe type, effect of the falls, it's kind of like that. Just gorgeous, There's lots of hiking involved to get out to the falls and things like that. And that's fine. We like doing that. Oh man, there's some more U's. Seriously? Of course that happens, right? At least it happened before I put it all away. Anyhow, let's see if I can get them right up here at my top edge. Just beautiful. There are a ton of stairs when you go to the Tequamanon Falls. Tons of stairs. So it's weird, you know, you feel you go uphill a little bit to then take the stairs to go down. It's interesting because you end up at the base of the falls, you know, well, not really the base of the falls, but you have to go down these stairs to see the falls anyhow. So there's lots of climbing and it's worth it. It's beautiful. We of course had many photo opportunities there at the falls and things like that. It's a very popular falls to visit, so there's quite a few people there. You have to be careful when you go up to do some of those visits. Certain times of the year are really bad for black flies. And those black flies, man, they will eat you alive. They are vicious, vicious critters, right? They bite and oh my gosh, you know, make sure you have really good bug spray if you're going in the summer. When they're prominent up there, because they will get you. Anyhow, that was fun. We checked out both falls. Then you have to go different, you know, down the path a little ways to get to the lower falls. They're not as showy. They're still very pretty. They're just not as showy. You know what I mean? But super, super fun. Super fun. That is where we started our love of waterfall hunting, as we call it. You know, we hunt for the waterfalls. A little fun fact is that in Michigan, all of the waterfalls, minus one, are in the Upper Peninsula in the UP. There is one waterfall that's in the Lower Peninsula. That's it, just one. All of the rest of them are up in the UP. Now for us, getting to the UP takes us about 3.5 hours to get to the UP, you know, to get to the Upper Peninsula. And that's just to get there. Like when you cross the Mackinac Bridge, you know, we have that big, beautiful bridge called the Mackinac Bridge. That's fun. Once you cross that, you're in the UP. Okay. It's the only way to get to the UP. Well, you could fly, but whatever. No, that's not true either. You can come in through Wisconsin on the other side. But anyhow, I digress. We get up there and then the Upper Peninsula takes hours and hours to get all the way across the Upper Peninsula. And we have been all the way across, all the way to the other side. There are many, many waterfalls all across the UP. You know, almost any place you could go, there's waterfalls. It's just amazing. And then you get all the way to the western corner, western side of the UP, and there are mountains. They're called the Porcupine Mountains. We have mountains in Michigan, you guys. Actual mountains, yes. And that is a lot of fun as well. There's a famous place there, again, one of the more touristy places to go, called Lake of the Clouds. And you hike. We actually just kind of get out of your car at the parking lot. Some of these places are super easy to access and some are harder. But Lake of the Clouds, you can get out of your car and you just walk up a little hill a little ways and you are at an overlook looking down at this huge lake. You look down at the lake. Now, of course, you know, we don't do things like that. We don't just go to the normal, you know, touristy spot where everybody else does. No, not us, you know. We're the kind of people that take the unbeaten path, that go a little further, that dig a little deeper, you know. Get into it. That's us. So you can also hike a trail, a path that goes down to the lake. And we've done that a couple times. That's where I saw my first porcupine. I actually saw a porcupine, of all things, in the Porcupine Mountains. I mean, hard to believe, but it is a true story. And both of our phones were dead. We tried to get a picture, and both phones were dead. Couldn't take a picture. Of course, right? That was pretty cool. That was not on our honeymoon, but anyhow, I've kind of just gathered a bunch of different memories together here. But, you know, it was because of our honeymoon that we started doing all of these things up in the UP, you know, hunting for all of these waterfalls. And then we just made it a thing. You know, after that, we just made it a thing to go find the waterfalls. We got ourselves a waterfall map, I guess, more of a list. There are over 300 and some waterfalls, I think, 350 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, some large number of waterfalls anyhow. Some, like I said, are super easy to get to. You just, you know, get out of your car, take a little walk down a little path or down some stairs, and you're at the waterfall. Okay. Others are hidden treasures, as we call them, little hidden treasures. And they're more difficult to get to. You have to hike out to find them. Maybe a long way sometimes, you know. If you're up for it, we've done quite a few of those. There's still some that there's a lot we've missed. But there are a few that we tried to find and failed. You know, we failed miserably at finding them. The directions that we were given weren't good. GPS took you, like if you GPSed it, it was weird. The GPS would take you down a little road and then it would say, oh, you're here. Your destination's on the right. Yeah. Okay. So the falls were over there somewhere, but you had no access to get to them. Right? Yeah. Didn't even know where a trail was to hike to them. So there's some that are on a river called the Yellow Dog River, and those are some that we had a hard time finding. We want to go back again and try to find those because those are supposed to be some really cool falls. So we're going to try to go back and find those at some point. We did find some falls called the Slate River Falls. Now that's probably one of my favorite stories, the Slate River. So you think about slate, if you know what slate is, right? Big flat kind of pieces of rock, okay? And that's what this river is. It's just a lot of slate on the bottom, pieces of slate sticking up here and there. That one we had to take a pretty precarious trail to get to, mostly with the truck. It's a good thing we have a truck because that gets us into some of these places, right? And we got to the Slate River, parked, and then we had to walk a little ways down a little trail anyhow to get to it. And you had to walk up like beside the river. You had to walk up beside the river quite a ways to get up the river far enough to get to the falls. And so we did. We made it. And they were very pretty. But then on the way back, you know, Dale and I, we like to collect things. And rocks is one of those things we like to collect. And I wanted a piece of slate, you know, some slate. So I was stopping on the way back to pick up slate, some little pieces to take home, maybe put in my garden or whatever. And he thought he wanted a piece as well. Now, mind you, we're up the river a ways because we had to walk up quite a ways. And I'm picking out a few pieces of slate. He did get bit by a crayfish there as well. Walking in the water barefoot, a crayfish bit him on his foot. That wasn't cool. But I pick up a few pieces of slate and he's like, okay, I'm looking for mine. I'm getting a piece of slate. And he's out in the water. That's when he got bit by the crayfish. And he picks up this piece of slate. You guys, it must have weighed, I don't know, 25 pounds maybe. It wasn't a small piece of slate. It was huge. Huge. And I'm like, honey, really? are you going to carry that all the way back, down this trail, back to the truck? Really? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to carry it back. And I'm like, all right, okay, good for you. And he did. It was like, you know, carrying a big old bundle, and that thing was heavy. And he carried that thing all the way back to the truck, got it into the truck, and I was just like, oh my gosh. Now, I will say, it is one of my favorite things out in the garden. It's out behind of our house, and it makes a little shelf, and I'm able to put a planter on it in the summer. We had it at the other house, because this is when we lived at the other house, and we took it with us and brought it over here, and, you know, I love it. I mean, I do. I love it, but Bitfoot, big old hunk of stone, and here he is wandering down this path back to the truck with his treasure there. And I got a little pocket full of, you know, stones, pretty much. But yeah, that's one of my favorite memories, is Slate River. And then we went back up a few years ago and took his son and the grandkids and stuff and went to the Slate River again. Well, they wanted to go with us, but they had a car and they got frustrated and they left, and they met us at a restaurant. So Dale and I went back again, and they never did, but anyhow, it's awesome. Awesome. Sometimes when I do my farm videos, I can show the piece of slate out back with the planters on it. I have a dog that needs to go out, so I'm going to pause and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. It's been about 15 minutes. Little Miss, who's not feeling good, decided to, you know, take a tour around, find all kinds of good stuff to sniff. Anyhow. All right, before I start talking about the waterfall adventures again, let me just say, the last couple days I have heard interesting sounds outside, and that would be cranes, you guys. We have sandhill cranes. They like to hang out here in Michigan and live here in Michigan, but they migrate. They are coming back, and I just stepped out the door and I heard them. I wish I could get them on film for you guys. I have gotten the cranes actually on camera before. They're not landing at this point. They're just flying in, making all this noise. They make the most interesting sound. They like coo, kind of. They're kind of cool. Anyhow, I'll see if I can catch them sometime here soon. Anyhow, back to the waterfalls. So when you head west, like I said, you'll head to Porcupine Mountains. And there are many, many beautiful, beautiful waterfalls over there because, you know, we have mountains, you'll have waterfalls. That's just kind of how it goes. You have to have a rise in elevation for the water to fall from, right? Makes sense, okay? Anyhow, I've told this story before on my channel, but there's a lot of new people, so I'll tell it one more time. And it's really where the adventure really, really took off for us being more adventuresome. Let me just say it that way. We were up there, you know, just traveling around and thought we'd try to find this waterfall. And so we parked, and it was one of those waterfalls you had to walk out to a ways. Now, there was a fairly nice path, you know, definitely not, it's not paved. It's not like that, guys. No, it's just dirt. But it was a fairly well-groomed little path to this waterfall. And it was a little walk. I mean, whenever you're, you know, hiking or walking through the woods on these paths, it seems to take forever. You seem to feel like you're going just miles and miles, when in reality, you really didn't go that far. You know, but I had on flip-flops that day. I didn't think much of it because, you know, it's just a nice little path, and we're just walking down this path, not doing any heavy-duty hiking of any sort. So we're walking. We get to this waterfall, and it was we were at a fence. There was a point you had to stop. There was a fence, and it was like a lookout. You'd stop and you'd look out, and there was the waterfall over there, and you could watch it. And it was quite a large waterfall as far as like how far it fell. You know, the height of it was pretty impressive. And so we looked at it, and we stood there, and other people came by, and they looked, and you know, okay, that was all well and good. So the people left, and Dale said, you know, we can get down there. And I said, what do you mean we can get down there? He goes, yeah, come on, I'll show you. Next thing you know, we're going over the fence, and down the hill. Me and my flip-flops, right? And we got down to the bottom, and now we're like down at the bottom of the waterfall, you know, down at the river level, instead of just looking at it from up high. We're right down there. And that was awesome. I mean, it was beautiful. We walked around a little. We walked in the river a little, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm certain, you know, there's people up there, you know, at the fence up above now looking at us down there like, what are they doing down there, you know? But that was us, you know. What are they going to do? Somebody going to come arrest us? I don't know. But there we are, wandering around, doing our thing. And it was beautiful. It was fun. I have video of that waterfall on my phone somewhere. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but it was fun. And that was what started the real love of really getting into the water. That was long before Slate River, when we walked in the river. But, you know, that's where it started, the whole adventure. And it was just, I mean, it's a thrill. It's fun. You want to get in there. You want to get in. You want to play. You got to be careful. Of course, you have to be careful when you're around waterfalls. But that one was just, the water was already down. We were just in the river. It was fun. So we got back out, you know, got back over the fence again and started walking back down the path back to the truck. And we'd only started. Now, mind you, I've gone over the fence, down to the waterfall, back up the hill, and now I'm just back on the path, right? And my flip-flop breaks. At this point, it breaks. And I was like, are you kidding, Dale? My flip-flop is broke. What do I do now? I can't walk this way all the way back. It's a dirt path. It's rocks, and I can't walk barefoot. What do I do? So, as we like to say, Dale MacGyvered my flip-flop. He always has a pocket knife. Got his pocket knife out. Got his keys out. And took one of the rings off his keychain. And with his knife, he expertly, like, MacGyvered my flip-flop so that it was back together well enough so that I could actually walk in the stupid thing, right? So then we head back to the truck with my broken up flip-flop. And yeah. So he always makes fun of me now whenever we're out doing things like that. The first thing he'll always ask is, he's like, do you have shoes in the back? Yes, honey. Yes, I have shoes. Because I wear flip-flops all the time in the summertime. And when we're vacationing or going places, I usually have flip-flops on in the car and stuff. But he'll ask me, hello, shh, as we head out for the day or whatnot. He's like, you have shoes in the back? At least tennis shoes, if not my hikers. Tape up, toffee. Shh. Oh, goodness. Hang on. Oh, maybe she's done. Shh. Okay. Shh. Let's not mention. So, yeah, he always asks now if I have shoes, at least tennis shoes, if not my hikers. I'll be like, yes, honey, yes, I've learned my lesson, yes. No more hiking down to waterfalls and flip-flops. Now, if we're going someplace that's outside and there's like a paved path or something, I might still wear my flip-flops. But, you know. So that was where the real adventure started. And that's where we started saying we're going to get closer to these things. We don't want to just look at them from, above, from some lookout point. No, we want to get right in there and experience it. That's the fun, experiencing. So we have been right down in the water, at many of these waterfalls. If it was safe to do so, we'll be there. We'll get in, slush around for a while. So over in the Porcupine Mountains, it is loaded with waterfalls. But a good place to see a whole bunch of them is on the Black River. It is like one of the most westerly parts. And it takes quite a few hours to get over there, actually. So you have to stay in the UP. If you want to do a lot of this adventuring, you need to get a hotel and stay up there. And that's what we do. But many, many waterfalls. And there's a river, the Black River. And there are 5 or 6 different groups of waterfalls that just go down the river. So it's kind of cool. What you can do is you drive and you get out and you go see one, and then you get back in your car and drive down the road a little further to the next one. You get how that works, right? So you can see a whole bunch in one day. And that has to be probably some of our favorite waterfalls are on that little route there. They are just awesome. They are cool. There were places you could walk out and be right beside the water or right up by the water as it's flowing by. These flat rock formations, and we have pictures of us sitting on it and stuff like that. That was cool. Now that we did get to take the grandkids to, and we have some pictures of the grandkids there. I think there was only one. Yeah, there's only one grandkid at the time, I believe. But that is one of our favorite places to go, over on the Black River, and very, very pretty. Lots of hiking through the woods to get to some of these places. You have to go alongside the river on a path to get to these waterfalls. So there is quite a bit of hiking to be done. I really miss it. Man, I really miss it. We haven't been able to go out and visit some of these places in quite a while. And I keep telling Dale, this summer, we have to take a vacation again. And we have to get out and enjoy some nature again. So we have that on our agenda for this summer. We're going to plan something. I don't know where or what, in our state or not. Because then, once we explored in our own state, then when we go places on vacation, what do we want to do? We want to find waterfalls, find lighthouses, because that's our other thing we love to do, and really get into the heart of nature and enjoy it. I'm going to talk about some more of those places in another Whip and Chat, but this one was all about Michigan. Michigan is one of the most beautiful states, in my opinion. We have so much nature. We have these amazing waterfalls throughout our state. Michigan has more lighthouses than any state in the U.S. We have more coastline because, we are surrounded by 5 Great Lakes. So we have miles and miles and miles of coastline. And all of that coastline has been protected with lighthouses. So there are many things to do. So when my husband asked the question, or I asked the question, I guess, what is there to do if we go up to the UP? Yeah, it's wide open spaces. And there's not a lot of people up there. There's not a lot of towns. There's a few larger towns. Marquette is the biggest town. That's where you can find a Walmart and all the stores. The rest of the UP doesn't have those things. They just don't. They have your little mom and pop shops and things like that. No big stores, no Home Depots. You know what I mean? The only city that really has that, well, Marquette does. There's a couple other, just a few cities. And they're just spattered about in, different areas of the UP, not even close to each other. So it's pretty rugged and, you know, interesting up there. Kitchikippi Springs, that's an interesting place to go. We went there. It's a natural spring and the water just comes and flows out of it. It never freezes because it's a spring, so you can go in the wintertime and it's still flowing. There's a little raft, I'll call it a raft, you can take across the spring. You have to, it's on a cable that goes across the spring and you have to like hand pull yourself across it, you know. And there's fish in there and it's cool. That's fun. We've gotten lost up in the UP many times, you know, just trying to find some place, ending up on some, actually trying to get to Kitchikippi Springs, we got lost. They took us on a detour and we thought we were smarter than the detour. And we're like, oh, well, let's just go this way instead of that way and we'll still get there. Oh, no, we ended up out in like a field, big, I don't know where we were. Totally don't know where we were. We were totally lost. And all we could do was just keep driving. It was kind of funny. We were driving along out there in the middle of absolutely nowhere. And we find chairs. Not chairs, they were like seats from vehicles, like car seats. And they were just sitting out there in this field, like people would go out there and sit in these chairs and watch the nature go by or whatever. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find up there in the UP. We just kept driving and finally we found something that looked like civilization, somewhat civilization, and found our way back to where we were supposed to go. But we spent quite a while just driving through this wilderness area, not having a clue what was going on or where we were. So you have to kind of have an adventurous spirit and, you know, now you do need to be a little careful, especially certain times of the year because, you know, you can get stuck in certain places. There was some women that were trying to find one of the lighthouses, one of the more difficult ones to get to. And they went like in the winter or I don't know if it was winter or just mud season, but they got stuck. They got lost. They got their car stuck. There was nobody up there, nobody around. And they were there for days. They were stuck there until someone finally came along and found them. Yes, it's a true story. They lived on some snacks they had in the car. They had Girl Scout cookies in their car, and that's what they survived on for several days until somebody came that way and discovered that they were there. So you do have to be a little careful. I mean, I don't usually worry about it too much. When we do things like that, we have the truck and, you know, it's got 4-wheel drive and, you know, I'm not worried about getting stuck or stranded someplace. Lost, for sure. Just make sure you got a full tank of gas when you head out because you never know how long it's going to be till you get back to, you know, a main road somewhere. Because really, you get on some of these roads and then they turn into nothing more than like a path or a trail. And they're, you know, you're on pavement 1 minute and the next thing you know, you're down to like a little grass path you're driving down. Seriously, it's like that. But it's fun. I mean, it's fun. You just have to have that spirit. And when I'm with Dale, I don't worry about it. I really don't. I mean, he's got a good sense of direction. He kind of knows what to do. He's, you know, you watch those survival shows. If I was going to be lost someplace and needed to survive, you know, I'd want to do it with him because I'm pretty sure he'd get us out of any trouble we could get into. So, anyhow, it's fun. It's fun. I have a hair. Look. I have a hair right there. Come on, get off my canvas. This is real life, people, real life. And my tweezers aren't the best. They're kind of bent at the end, so it's giving me a hard time. Come on, I need you off of here. Okay, I'm going to have to go get a different pair of tweezers because I cannot fight with this hair anymore. Here. It won't come off. Yeah, the tweezers aren't getting it. So let me go. I can move it around. I just can't grab it. Come on. Are you watching this, you guys? Yeah, I need different tweezers. Ah, I got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, those are totally bent at the end. They're not very helpful. Anyhow, I'm going to put pictures at the end, like I said. I don't know how many pictures. I'll see what I can find that's on my phone. And I'll put some pictures of some places that we've been. And you'll get to get a little experience. And yeah, stay tuned after the pictures. I'm just going to say, stay tuned after the pictures. There's going to be more after the pictures. Don't miss it. Don't leave. This is your warning. Don't leave. There's surprises. Don't leave. Okay? All right. Let me go do that. I'll find pictures. I'll add pictures. And then I'll put the little surprise part at the end. Okay? Hang on. Hold tight. All right, so here's the surprise part, you guys. Surprise, surprise. There's a giveaway here at the end of this video. Yes, gracious donation was given for the Chuck Along, and decided that during Whip and Chat might be a good time to give something away. So that's what's going to happen right now. My good friend Melly donated a Diamond Art Club painting, a Randall Spangler. It is The Flight of the Fireflies. Cute, right? Love that painting. So, she is giving that. She's giving it, you guys, and she's going to ship it. So it's all on her, really, and we are so appreciative of that. I mean, wow. Thank you, Melly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. U.S. only, not international, please. Because like I said, this is Melly doing this, and she has just said, you know, she really can't afford to ship international and things like that. So please just make sure you're US for this drawing. Anyhow, so what I need you to do is, after this video, in the comments, please comment what your favorite Chuck Pinson painting is and why. I mean, why is it your favorite? Is there some story, some memory it evokes, or is it just the plain beauty of it? Just tell me a little bit. I want to know, you know, we're talking about nature here, you guys, and it's one of my favorite things to talk about, clearly. And I want to know what you think. What's your favorite painting? So I will pull a winner by, you know, next week's Whip and Chat. I'll let you know who won. And Melly, I'll get your information to Melly, and she will ship it to you. Okay? Isn't that awesome? That is so great. You guys, we're so, oh my gosh, Melly, thank you so, so much. Okay? Anyhow, you never know what's going to happen around here, guys. I can just spring a surprise on you. So I hope you're still here. I hope you paid attention and listened to the end when I said listen to the end. Because here you go. I know. Sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I don't do this very often, but I just thought I'd have some fun with this one. Anyhow. All right. I think that's all I have to share for now. Hope you enjoyed the stories. I hope you enjoyed the pictures. I mean, that's just a few pictures, really. I have tons. Every trip we take, I have tons. But I hope you enjoyed them. If you ever get to Michigan, you know, I hope you can enjoy some of those beautiful places that I showed and talked about, because it really is amazing. Amazing. So anyhow, until next week, you guys, keep chucking along. I'm chucking along here. Look, I don't know what I'm making right now, but it's brown. And enjoy the beauty of what you're creating. Enjoy the beauty of the world around you. Take a minute, to just stop and enjoy it. Listen to the cranes. Watch the ducks. Watch the birds. Take a walk. Just life is too short and we need to just enjoy it. And Mother Nature, wow, what a beautiful, beautiful thing we got there, right? Find something you enjoy. I'll stop talking now. Hit the like button and subscribe. Come back. See me some more. I love spending time with you guys. All right. So until next week, have a great week. And I'll be looking forward to seeing all those product pictures, you guys. Talk to you later.